Ustream, what's happening? Welcome to Build and Destroy Radio for Wednesday, September the 16th. We are about to go on air in 1 second, about to cut this down. Mark Bennett, aka Snoop's going to get the music going, and then we're going to start the show. But we're on Ustream right now. You can check us out at www.ustream.tv. Search Build and Destroy Radio, and we'll come right up on your cameras. All right, so we're going to go on air in a second. We're just putting some finishing touches on the show. We'll be beginning in 1 minute. You ready?
Yeah. Can you plug me in here? Can you get me on the headphones? Good.
Southwest Philly, West Philly, good evening. The time is 9:05 and you are now ready to build and destroy. Build and Destroy Radio is on your air. What's happening, y'all? My name is David Hanna, 1/3 of the team, the Build and Destroy team. To the right of me is Derek Adger.
You.
To the other right of me is Mark Bennett, aka Snoop Money.
What's up, Philly?
And we are beginning things again for September 16th. 9 a.m. is 9 p.m.
Your registry scan is completed. Click Fix Now to resolve these problems.
And we've got some feedback noise coming in. Good evening, y'all. What's up? As you know, this is Build and Destroy Radio on WPEB FM 88.1 on your radio dial. Broadcasting from beautiful Southwest Philly. I'm your host again, and West Philly, as Derek likes to correct me. I never know where I'm at, but we're here, y'all. Good evening. And, we're going to start things out. I'm a little sorely. Okay, this is the way the guys are doing me, because we have a Cardinals fan in one room, we have a Cowboys fan in another room, and I stand alone as being the only winless person in this room. Yes, my Birds took a loss on Monday night. The season kicked off. The NFL season began. We'll get more in depth with that as the evening goes along, as we do our NFL roundup for Week 1. But I'm a little salty. My squad came out. They came out flat.
You're a little Mortons.
You're a little Mortons. We'll get
Little Mortons.
plenty of
Little Lowry. You're a little Lowry.
Little Morton salt, yes. There's a little Morton salt in my wounds right now, but we get to do it all again next Sunday with a huge NFC matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. But my heart is not only a little heavy because of the Eagles loss. I'm also a Sixers fan, so we wave our Sixers flags at half-mast as we said goodbye to two legends in the paint. One, Daryl Dawkins, a.k.a. Chocolate Thunder, passed away. And then less than 2 weeks later, the man that brought us to the promised land, led us through the burning sands of the NBA wasteland to an NBA title, Moses Malone, passed away. Oh, I'm hurt. I don't know. What are you guys' memories of those two? I mean, Daryl Dawkins, that was one of the first signature sneakers I had. Chocolate Thunder was everything to me when I was coming up a Sixers fan, with the stars and stripes coming down the hip, coming down the lane, breaking backboards. One of the first true basketball MCs in the game. He put flavor in the NBA. He's one of the first guys to put that swag into ball players long before Allen Iverson. And what else can we say about Moses Malone? Again, we had Doc, we had George McGinnis, we had World Be Free, but Moses brought it all together and brought us that title. And my heart is heavy, like I said. Ads, what are some of your take on the Sixers back in the day?
Great, man. It's like those are iconic players that formulated my love for my Sixers. That's the era I came up, and I can remember vividly when Mo came to town and the whole 4-5-4. That was the man. I was in grade school, and I never forgot that because DAS was talking about it, and then they had the song about Pieces of a Dream that came out not too long after that. And if you watch that video,
wow.
Man, I got choked up this weekend just looking at it, man, because it's not just a reminder of the good times of the Sixers and our glory years, a few that we had, but it's also like it's also a harkening back to a good era as far as growing up and developing my love for sports, developing my love for my city, coming into age as a young man. Those memories stick with me forever, and clearly Daryl Dawkins and Moses Malone were like a huge part of my youth and my young adulthood. And just hearing that they passed, it's just a reminder of, just how short life can be. I think those guys are bigger than life, and to hear they're going at such a young age, it's tragic. It's really sad.
Very sad, very sad. Snoop, I know, again, you weren't per se a Sixers fan, but you couldn't help but be molded by, the Sixers back then. That team just had so much flavor. And like I said, in the paint, those guys were legends, and
they were transcendent. No matter what team you rolled with in that era of basketball, they stood out. They were Daryl Dawkins, so much charisma, so much personality, breaking backboards. I mean, we was before ESPN era, so the few highlights that you got to see were the highlights, and that was a highlight that's being played to this day. And Moses Malone was just, before the term was coined a beast, he was a beast. I mean, he was a two-time, I think, rebound leader, three-time MVP. I think the first MVP back-to-back seasons for two different teams, from the Houston Rockets to the 76ers. And to your point, brought it home for the Philadelphia 76ers. So definitely, not a Sixers fan per se, but I am
You're going to say your allegiance. You're going to speak your allegiance now. So the listeners aren't misconstrued. You may as well speak the allegiance now. You may as well get it out there with yes. You may as well put that out.
Celtics. So let's put that out there. Not only are you a Cowboys fan, you hit the evil trifecta of Philadelphia sellout-dom.
Evil quad.
I made up a word. I said sellout-dom.
Can I say quad-fecta?
A quad-fecta.
Yes.
Yes.
He does the quad-fecta.
Not only
that's not even a word. That's a made-up word.
I mean, it's
Philadelphia. Listen.
He's lucky we love him. He's lucky he's our boy.
First of all,
we claim him as friend.
We want to say that the views and opinions that we are not necessarily the views and opinions of WPEB.
No, they are not.
88.1 on your FM.
No, they are
not. I'm gonna give you a public service announcement.
Oh boy.
I am not a fan of any Philadelphia team. Football, baseball, basketball, or hockey. I am what you call Derek pulling out his hair. For those that don't understand. But being a young lad, watching sports as I did, I just found things in other teams that I admired.
And you didn't begin that. You at no point did you decide to look inward and outward in the Delaware Valley for those qualities. You had to go. Outside your realm.
Let's be clear.
Just to be different.
I can
see how you were in school, sir.
I was a Philadelphia Phillies fan.
Oh, until
they traded Larry Bowa to the Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
Who was my favorite player? I always patterned myself being a shortstop after Larry Bowa, and I followed him to Chicago Cubs, and they've been my team ever since. We're having a wonderful year at the end of
They're primed for the playoffs right now.
The only thing he picked was the racist Phillies.
They are primed for the playoffs right now. But, you're a rarity. You're not in the sense that you're a Cowboys fan. Because there are many Philadelphia-based Cowboys fans. But the fact that you went above and beyond sellout them and chose the Cubs and the hated Celtics as
you say sellout them.
It is bad. It is
a robot.
I'm not a robot.
I don't know.
You're going to call all of our fine listeners that are diehard Philadelphia fans?
Mark?
It's so convenient.
Yeah, Mark.
Okay.
No, it's just we could be.
I think we have a caller. Can we get a caller?
Can we put you on live air?
Okay, we do have a caller on there.
And it's okay if you're recording. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Hey,
caller.
caller, do we have a caller online right now? Good evening. You're on WPEB on the Build Destroy Radio Show. What's your name, caller? Mark Mudd. Who? We do have a Mark in the studio. Hold on, we're having some technical difficulties. 1 second. All right. Can I hang this up?
I don't know.
All right.
Man, he's gonna put on speaker, David. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
We got you.
Okay, caller. Okay. Yes, you are on the speaker.
I know his name is Mark, but I said Mark Will because he said the only one he liked was the racist Phillies franchise who doesn't like anymore since they're now integrated. So what's up with that?
With the Celtics?
With the Phillies, he talked about the Phillies. Why? They said the Phillies are fully integrated now, so you can like them again. But
Larry Bowen has returned. And then Philly did get rid of him again, and they keep pulling him back.
Now you're missing my point. You're on there talking about what you don't like about Philadelphia. You're on the Philadelphia station. Don't you think you have to leave that studio?
How about that? How
What
about
is-
that? You have to leave that studio. You gotta live.
yeah, exactly.
And pay taxes.
That's what I told caller.
And pays taxes.
Exactly. We just told him
I do pay that.
he has to watch himself.
Barry Gordon from at the round table.
Hey, Barry, what's happening? Listen, this is Barry Gordon. We call him the Wealth of Knowledge, aka Mr. Everything, Barry Gordon of the Round Table. Good evening. What's happening, Barry?
Hey, I just called in because I heard that conversation. I almost had an accident.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just on the drive. I did pull over.
Mhm.
And start talking that stuff. I want to make a public announcement.
That's right. You sound very Stephen A. Smithish tonight, Barry. But let him have it.
That's all I wanted to say. Now I'm going to let y'all go and finish your program. Don't hurt his brother.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Barry.
Sir.
Good school here. Keep it crisis. Okay?
All right, we'll have a.
Have a good evening.
All right, have a good evening.
You know what, David? One day maybe we can broach that subject. Because I've had that conversation in many barbershops.
We can definitely
I've had
visit.
that
That's a conversation. It's a definitely
in
conversation.
many of arenas. And it's not just the 4-for-4. It's people don't like a certain team in their area where they are born and raised, and they go outside of that.
Well, I'm 1/4 guilty. I'm 1/4. I can't throw stones completely. I'm 1/4 guilty. I'm the same man that went to a Flyers playoff game with my brother, sat and high-fived Flyers fans in the stadium, then ultimately went to a Cowboys-Eagles game, had to sit in silence because my friend was there as a Cowboys fan. He almost got us killed. So it's ironic that I celebrate the victory. Heckle Rangers fans and heckle Maple Leafs fans when they come in the stadium, but I'm the same one that walks into the link. I get the same a-hole chant, or the people looking at me, ready to strangle me. I am 1/4 guilty. So I sympathize with my brother to a point. But then I gotta draw a line sometimes. I think
You do have to
I
draw
have
a
to
line.
draw
I
a
mean,
line because I love this city so much, and I love my other 3 sports teams that much
Right.
that I recognize my traitorous ways, and I know they're wrong, but I still am a lifelong Cardinals fan. Been a fan for 35 years, close to 40 years.
and
So-
you are a true blue.
Absolutely.
To
So
the Cardinal Red. You can go back to the days of
True
St.
red.
Louis.
Absolutely.
He's true red.
Jim
I'm
Hart,
true blue.
Jim
Okay.
Hart, Neil Lomax, Deerdorf, the Aaron Coryell days, when I first started following the Cardinals, from the CBS days, with Herb Cross, and those guys, and Jane Kennedy. That's when I first started liking the Cardinals, when they were on TV only when they played the Eagles. So I developed my love in an odd way, but I've been with that team all my life.
Well, you know what,
never
Derek,
chosen another team.
I gotta ask you as well. Snoop went into a little bit of his psychosis of why his diagnosis and some of the things that led him to,
Right.
led him where he is now as a fan, no fan of any Philadelphia team.
Right.
Where did it come from? Did you trip? Did you hit your head when you came
My
to a
dad
Cardinals
always
in
asked
front
that.
of you?
My
Where
dad
did it come
always asked
from?
that. Literally,
Your
Dave,
love for the
honestly, when I first
Arizona
started watching
Cardinals.
football, the first televised game I ever watched was Cardinals Redskins.
All right.
This is when I first started developing the knowledge to follow a game and pay attention. So the first game I ever watched, Cardinals Redskins. Loved the Cardinals helmets. As a kid, I was drawn to that. Thought the helmets were cool. But over the years, I just never put it down. Despite living in a family of Eagles fans, I never let it go. Even
See,
when I
and you
had
know what?
opportunities to
And
go other ways.
the love of the helmet is infantile, yes, but it's
It is.
acceptable at the age
But
of 70.
exactly, and then
You know,
but
we have
also-
grown men that
Sure.
playing that at teenage years.
And
That's
the
when it's
thing.
unacceptable.
And then the thing also,
it's a
Mo, Dave,
definite
and I
violation.
maintained it through the years, through the time, through the era where you couldn't maintain it, where you being a fan of a team out of town was literally almost impossible. So I maintained it even to my teenage years, to my adult years when it was easy to go ahead and revert back to being an Eagles fan because that's the home team. I love my city. This was the team, you know, my family's a part of. So I could have put the St. Louis Cardinals down. I never did. It stayed with me. It was a part of me. And like you said, it's infantile, but that's what developed my love for
Infantile,
the team.
but
It's the one
appropriate is what I was
It's
gonna
very
say.
appropriate.
And it was the same. It was the
defend
same
every
with
time.
me.
I defend it.
You know that the love for me for all things Philadelphia comes from comes from, you know, from when I was little, came out the crib. But you know, I was raised right. My father, you know, in one hand was the Eagles band, and the other hand was the Phillies, and in between he put Sixer sneakers on my feet. So that's all I know.
My dad
You know, I
tried.
had other
He
opportunities to
tried.
like
Tico
other
tried,
teams.
Dave. Tico tried. My dad tried.
That's all you know.
It just
Yeah,
didn't work.
I had other opportunities to like other teams, but I found it was in my DNA and in my blood. When my father took me to Gimbals up 69th Street to get the Hutch kit came with the helmet, shoulder
Absolutely,
pads, the
absolutely,
jersey,
the Hutch
and they were
kit.
sold out of the Bill Berge and the Bill Bradley jersey, and the only thing that left was the Redskins, Billy Kilmer and Sonny Jurgensen, and the Cowboys, Roger Staubach. I cried. I was like, what kind of store is this? I was like,
Oh, you still crying.
and I'm upset. And I'm upset. And you know what? If you share my sentiment about how upset I am that I share the airways with two seemingly, I don't want to call them sellouts, it's a little strong, we'll say differing sports opinions on who they like, you're free to call us at 215-472-0882. That's the WPEB hotline where you're free to give us your opinion. We've already sparked some opinions. Some people have called. If you want to call us and give us, we would love to hear from you.
Call back.
Call back. Yeah, give us a call back. This is our first break of the evening. We're going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back. And again, you're listening to Build and Destroy Radio, 88.1 WPEB FM. We'll be right back, y'all.
That was Johnny.
Yeah, that was Johnny. Was that him that call?
No, I don't know if
chick?
it was Denise. I think she said it was Denise.
Oh, that was Denise.
I said, hold on.
So that's still playing. All right, we're taking a quick break, y'all. We'll be back on the air, getting things rolling on this Wednesday evening. Thanks for listening to us on the round table. I'm about to put a question out about who you with, who's your squad that you represent with in this NFL season. I know what the majority should be, but we'll find out. I'm gonna type this in right now, and we'll see if we can get some responses to our question through Ustream. Let me see. Yeah, why not? It's good stuff.
I mean, we can talk about that all.
Well, you know what I'm gonna go to next. Got to talk about what happened in San Francisco, where the fandom gets out of control. That guy the Minnesota fan got stomped at the Minnesota 49ers game. Yeah. And then the pass is happening at the Dodgers game, Raiders game. You know what?
No, that'd be a good segue from this.
That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna segue right to that. Do you want to drop it down on them?
You got some
knowledge for you, son.
You got some news?
Trying to kick it out.
Check that one.
What you trying to kick me out? Got the phone the other day.
That's a new uncurved.
Yeah, uncurved.
Non-tri-quarters.
I like it.
That's nice.
I like it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It'll catch up to you dudes. You can just outbite it. But the eye.
I like it.
You need a case?
Yeah, I just ordered. It's on the way.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, Ken, I'm running
I've
a
been
thin line.
heartbroken before.
I'm a thin line because that's one drop away from getting wasted.
I know you
I get terrified.
You're dancing with the
Pull out
devil
my
in the
phone.
pale
Listen,
moonlight.
when I'm on the way to work and Chris will call, if I pull it, if that thing hit that cement, it's over. It's over. I be
Down
knowing
goes
the phone.
straight shot.
It's over.
You can drop the first Frazier statue on too.
Oh yeah, Dave, that's another thing too.
What's that?
The Frazier statue.
I ain't hear anything about that.
Yeah, the Joe
unveiled
Frazier.
it, Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from the Wells. I'm from Infinity Live.
Oh,
Xfinity
nice.
Live.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because you know everybody was talking about how Rocky got a statue and he's fictitious and, you know,
Right. Put a real champion up there.
no smoking jizz.
Okay. Right? Grab the music. All right. Here we go. Bill Destroy Radio, we're back on air. WPEB 88.1 FM. Spirited conversation going on right now about week one, leading up to week one in the NFL, and not so much about week one per se yet, but we are talking about allegiances. We are a split party in the Build and Destroy Lemon Drop Lounge Room Studios. We have a Cowboys fan, we have an Arizona Cardinals fan, and we have a staunch and true Eagles fan. But when is fandom out of control? You know, week one just concluded this past Monday night, and the second game that followed the Eagles game was the Minnesota Vikings on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And the fans got out of control. There was an instance as the game was letting out, a Minnesota fan got a little boisterous, might have had one too many adult beverages at the game, began to mouth off with some of the San Francisco fans who were also exiting the game, and then he proceeded to get stopped by the fans. Security had to come in, police had to come in to break it up, and you know, the guy ran off into the night. But when is it enough? We've heard a lot of these instances over the last couple of years. At Dodgers game, a gentleman got stomped in the 700 level at Dodger Stadium during the Dodgers playoff run a couple of years ago, and was in a coma for about 6 months. You know, so it's okay to say your Cowboys weasel, your team sucks. You know, get out of here. You know, but when is it out of control? I don't know. But I think getting stomped as you walk out of the game, and to the point of getting stomped, or you fear you can't even take your child to the game to let him see his squad play. You know, that's when I think things are over the line. But what do y'all think?
I agree completely, Dave. I mean, I've been in my share of opposing stadiums in Malac Marquez too. So I know how it is, man. I walk a thin line, and I think over the years I've learned how to navigate that. I don't think a lot of fans do. Sometimes it might be their first experience. I've heard, like you said, David, the Vikings fan may have gotten a little mouthy. That's no excuse. But these guys, I mean, in this era, 2015, the way sports are, the way fandom is, these guys, the tailgating all day, the alcohol-fueled bravado where they feel they can just say and do anything. I mean, it's a gladiator environment for sure. It's like you walk a thin line between wanting to support your team and being smart about it. Because I have a friend that's going to the game this weekend. He's taking his family, got tickets. He's a Cowboys fan, and he's not going to wear any gear in the stadium, which is smart. My wife's hesitant to let me attend the game December 20th. I have an invitation to go, and she's hesitant to let me go, partly because she knows how I am, and then secondly because she's worried about something happening. So you raise a really good point, David, on when is enough, and what I think what the league should do is also take a look at this as well. I think it might be something they want to investigate.
You have to protect the fans, yeah.
Yeah, well, as Derek said, I mean, we consider ourselves traveling fans.
Absolutely.
Been to some rowdy stadiums and some good stadiums where fans are engaging and you get the back and forth, which is something that we enjoy. We enjoy it, and it gets to a point though, and I've seen other, not myself, engaged in something of that nature, but I've seen two fans about to go at it because it went from football to personal. Right. I've seen guys coming at girls that are fans of another team and is
Children.
taking it, which then brings their counterpart or their male friend involved in it. Like, yo, you can't talk to her like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? If you got something to say it to me. Let us do it. Don't come at my girl like that. You know what I mean? I think you had some beer spilled.
I got beer
People,
thrown at me.
beer thrown, beer spilled. Like, that's when it goes too far, and that's when it's.
or a couple of choice racial slurs.
Yeah. Now, what does race have to do with football?
It should have nothing to do with it.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
and we
the black and white players on the
charged
field,
up and we
there's-
get hype but at the end of the day, I think we know it's football. We know that, even with the social media, it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of talk.
Well, you know what,
a lot of memes going back and forth.
Yeah.
And
I
insults.
enjoy it. It's healthy when
good.
done right. It's healthy when done
It's
right.
fine. But it's my stance has always been, I can't. If you put me on the field, I'll talk more because I can control an aspect of the game. When I can't control an aspect of the game, I
Spectators.
I have to limit my comments.
You know what? When you talk about a sport where it's once a week, people build their whole lifestyles around that one week when you can turn off
Kidding me?
for 2 or 3 hours a week and let it all loose. That's why, like you said, Mark, when things can go over the line, that's the other side of it. Like the NFL really markets this thing to be such a passion-driven, emotional roller coaster throughout the season. 16 weeks of that, up, down, up, down.
Right.
And like I said, people build their whole lifestyles around, those 16, 17 weeks of the fall and winter.
I'm guilty.
So you have people that go overboard. They lose themselves in that team and those colors and that, that game. And, they take that passion too far. As we go into Monday Night Football mode, Snoop broke out the NFL music early as this discussion goes on. We're gonna have this discussion come back just to let you know as we talk about our NFL roundup. But
to your point, when you hear that music come,
you just make my heart jump.
I was jumped
I
up.
just had a palpitation.
I was one of the stiff arms
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
I felt the stiff arm coming on.
I just had a palpitation.
Stiff arm coming
I just
on.
had a palpitation.
You heard his
You know?
pause. He paused.
Yeah.
He literally paused when he heard the music.
You just said that, it's Pavlovian, that NFL music comes on, man. You set me off. But, cats can get out of control, basically, because of that passion that was just elicited by that music. So they can, but, it's early. Everybody is still optimistic that their squad can be that season long. There'll only be one champion every year. Like I said, it's early. There's been winners and losers. I'm the only loser sitting here right now, but hopefully we'll get back on the winning side of things this Sunday. But we're talking about champions. And cut back into some regular music. Let's say the NFL music for a little later on. We're talking about champions. We bear witness to a champion this past Saturday, gentlemen. TBE, the self-proclaimed the best ever, Floyd Money Mayweather of the Money Team, defended his belt or belts for the 49th time, tying Rocky Marciano's record of 49-0. That's a major accomplishment. Again, last week we talked about witnessing greatness. We witnessed Serena Williams make her run at the U.S. Open, only to get lost, which brings you a drastic comparison up when we talk about champions. They both are champions. They both go a little underappreciated, but there's something to be said about handling your business. And you can say what you want. A lot of people, Floyd Mayweather is one of those names that come up and the line gets drawn right down the middle of the barber shop or the restaurant you're in. There's people that love him. There's people that hate him, for whatever reasons. But one thing can be said, Floyd Money Mayweather handles his business. You might not like the way he handles his business. It's not the most exciting style in the world, but this is called, in his business, it's called the sweet science. It's about hitting and not getting hit. And there hasn't been anybody that's good at doing that as he has over the past, 20 years or so? And conversely, on the other side, I brought up Serena Williams, her run at trying to attain something that has not been done since 1988. The year slam, winning all the major tennis titles in one calendar year. She was 2 matches shy of winning the U.S. Open and achieving that goal that Steffi Graf set back in 1988. She fell short to a no-name. Both opponents faced opponents that they were clearly heads and toes more talented than, both Serena and Floyd. But again, we're talking about handling your business. Floyd handles his, Serena doesn't. This is what happens sometimes. That's why you show up to play the games, you know. So, but Floyd is an interesting character, man. I mean, I like the kid's swag and everything. Would I pay for one of his fights? I'm not paying for it. I used an illicit feed to watch the fight last week. I'll admit it. I did not pay. You know, some portions were in French, but I did see the fight. You know, and again, it was pretty much a snore as he dominated like a elongated sparring match against Andre Berto, who was nowhere in the class of Floyd Mayweather. And again, he handled his business. He got the bum out of there. He tied it, and then shortly after he finished him off, Floyd Mayweather announced his retirement. He said he's done. Mark, do you believe he's done?
No. I think for the right price. I think he has in his promotion style, I think he has a flair for the dramatic. And I think he would love to come out of retirement, get another pay-per-view, big payday against the right fighter. Let someone become the reigning champ. You know,
who else is out there? There's nobody out there. It's got to be Pacquiao too. It's got to be Mayweather Pacquiao too.
Somebody, if he's retired, somebody has to be the champ, right?
Right.
He's the retired champ. The acting champ can have 2 or 3 fights and defend their title. Then, Floyd Mayweather's coming out of retirement. Oh, this is big. Oh, this is $100 per pay-per-view. Oh, it's going to be sensational. I mean, I don't think he's done. I think he has another payday. I think he has another payday.
Yeah, this man loves money too much. If you watch any of his promotional specials that come on to hype the fight up, he walks around with knots of money like I have shoelaces on my shoes. So Floyd loves the money, and you put $200 million in front of him in about 8-9 months, I can't see him turning it away. So I don't know. But are you down with his braggadocio, Andrew? Do you like what Floyd
He's a
is about?
character. He's a character in a sport that desperately needs one. So I mean, it's not like how back in the in the early days, not early days of boxing, but a number of years ago, when you had multiple personalities in the sport in different weight classes that drew your attention. I'd be hard pressed really to name 3 fighters even in his class. If you just went down each class and asked me to name 1 fighter, I likely couldn't. I pay attention to boxing, but generally to the name boxers. If a good fight comes on, I watch it, but I couldn't tell you whose belt is up for grabs, who's ranked third by the IOC. I couldn't do that. I know people that are passionate about boxing, so to them, probably they'll say that they're going to miss his braggadocio, like you said, David, his swag. But for me, it's just theater. I watch when I'm compelled to watch, when there's a good fight, when I can get together with friends and have beverages and eat food. That's usually when I'm watching a Floyd fight.
It's an event.
It's an event. But outside of that, I had no interest in this past week fight, and it pretty much went from those who have watched, who had told me they watched it according to how you thought it was a snooze fest. But Floyd's great at doing what he does, defending and winning. He's going to find ways to win. He's not going to lose. Whatever style of fighter he's fighting, he'll counter that and find a way to win. So he's a great fighter. You got to give him his credit. But I think I don't know. I just think it's overkill sometimes, but that's just my opinion on it, David. As far as
well, it's funny you say that because the fans had spoken, and most of them seem to have shared your sentiment with the fact that it was a snooze fest. People were not very enthused about this fight and why. You fought Andre Berto, and you pretty much knew what the outcome was going to be. The fight itself, which cost between $75 to watch it in high def and $65 to watch it in standard definition, only had about 550,000 buys, which comes to roughly about 41 million. When you add Floyd Mayweather's salary, which was the lowest it had been under his contract with Showtime, he made the minimum, which was about 32 million. I don't think we can sneeze over 32 million, but that's low money for Floyd Mayweather. Andre Berto got about 4 million, I think. which brought it, or it's close to 8 million, which brought us right to the mark of what the fight was. So, needless to say, with the overhead and cost that it takes to put a major bout on of that nature, Showtime probably lost money on this fight. And I think Floyd might have seen the writing on the wall. He's like, you know what, this might be the best time to exit stage left and call this a career. So,
well David, ask the question that you have proposed. Is Mayweather the best ever?
TBE
or
question.
the best of his generation?
Right.
And who has been more dominant in their sport? Serena Williams or Floyd Mayweather?
Interesting question. We're gonna post that on Ustream as well.
I mean, I like to discuss that a little.
Okay, I'm gonna post that in a second on Ustream. Mark brought the question up. TBE, something that Floyd wears on his hat, with alarming regularity, and let's state this one thing. He titled himself the best ever.
Right.
But do you agree with that? And like you said before, the other half of the question is that we like to pose to you through our Ustream channel, ustream.tv. Search Build and Destroy Radio, and you can jump in on the discussion as I'm about to type this question and put it out there on social media. Who is the most dominant champion in the sport? Are you riding with Serena Williams in tennis or Floyd Mayweather in boxing? And do you believe that Floyd Mayweather is, like he puts on his front of his baseball cap, the best ever? My thoughts personally, there's no way. I mean, this question came up as I was getting my hair cut this week with another big Floyd Mayweather fan. Matter of fact, I call him the president of the Floyd Mayweather Boxing Association. And I basically said, man, you're tripping because, when you open the door, the best of his generation, yes. The best all time,
No way.
you're desecrating some legend. You're going to look Ali in the eye and say that Floyd Mayweather's better than him when he defended against Andre Berto and the like? Come on.
Let's see if we can find Ali's record, all-time record.
Okay, we're gonna look that up. You're talking about an era coming up in the 70s and 80s in every weight class where there were men fighting 15 rounds.
Absolutely.
I don't remember last time Floyd Mayweather was truly tested in the ring. Those guys back in that era, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Roberto Duran.
There were no tomato
Come
cans.
on, they were tested.
Once you reach championship level, dude, I'm sorry. Once you reach championship level, you weren't. There were no tomato cans. Every fight was a test. Whether it be somebody up and coming that was worthy of the test. These days it's about money. Floyd was able to hand pick his opponents, and made it. Whoever made it lucrative for him financially and professionally. So, in the best fighters' heyday, they didn't have that option. They were promoters that put the fighter in front of you. So you had to fight who the promoters wanted you to fight, and who the public wanted you to see. So there was an extreme demand for Ali Frazier and these fights where these ultimate fighters fought numerous times. Floyd's best fight, I'm not certain who it is in his storied career, but has he fought that person again? If someone can tell me the record, and has he fought someone more than one time? Like where you could say, oh, he's got to rematch that, and he's got to rematch it. You don't see these, Mayweather Berto 3s. You're not going to see that kind of thing in this kind of era. You're just not. Once Floyd dusts you off,
first of all, you're going to
take
stop
your
cussing on
paycheck.
his airwaves like that, talking some Mayweather Berto 3.
Take your paycheck and we'll go into the night quietly. That's pretty much what it is after you fight Floyd. Get your money, become a footnote in history, and have a seat.
That's right. To me, like you said, I think you said it quite succinctly, Derek. I don't really see a comparison. Floyd Mayweather is the best of his generation, hands down. But when you open that Pandora's box and talk about the best ever TBE, you better respect the guys that came up. The man who he tied, Rocky Marciano. There's people from that generation that can argue down. And like I said, you can go multiple weight classes from heavyweight down to flyweight. We talk about Carlos Manzone, and on the names go on and on. Those we're talking 15 rounds. And like the best point you said, the promoter threw you in front of people. You didn't hide and hand pick fights back in the 80s.
Right.
If there was a cat that was worthy, you took him on. You know, it wasn't all that slipping and dipping and not trying to get hit. Floyd, I don't think Floyd Mayweather's had a black eye.
That's what I mean.
49 and
As much
0.
as- Exactly.
Has
He has he
black
has
eye.
Mark. He hasn't had a black eye. I bet you if he fought Sugar Ray and him, he might have won some of those fights, but he would have got hit because it was a different kind of sport. You weren't trying not to get hit. You had to get hit to hit. You know.
And you always gotta be careful when you're comparing generations.
Yeah.
Generations,
yeah.
That's
so
with
for him-
anything too.
With
That's
any
with
sport,
Any,
correct.
anything, music and
Anything-
sports.
Yeah, sports, music, and all the arts in and of themselves. For the record, Ali was 56-5
Incredible.
with 37 KOs.
Incredible. Changed the game.
Floyd's claim to be TBE is based solely off of his record. I think I don't know 100%, but I don't know if there's another fighter that has won 48 fights and is undefeated. So that is an impressive feat in and of
It is.
itself.
49 and 0 is 49 and 0.
is 40, and that's
You know.
his claim. So you have to
That's
be
his
careful with
claim.
that.
That's his claim. And to his credit, he only can fight in the generation he's in. He can
Of
only
course.
take on the opponents that are in front of him.
That's true.
I think it's ridiculous that it took close to, 8-9 years from the fight.
It-
Manny Pacquiao, they fought at a point where they almost lost their they were on the cliff of falling off of being a relevant fight. They waited so long. That fight should have happened 10 years ago.
Well, as we talking about different generations of players, if you put some of the old time, halfway decent players in the NBA into this league where you can't breathe on a person in the lane,
Oh
they
boy.
would be
Interesting
they
you
would be
bring up the NBA
all-time greats.
because that is
If
the
you
other
put-
half of the conversation,
If you
Mark.
put some of the wide
Yes.
receivers from the 70s,
Well, stop right there.
80s
Get to
into this league now,
Right, because you're talking about rule
where you
changes now.
can't look at a receiver.
Okay.
So that's just one thing.
Can I bring it back to NBA because said Floyd, president of Floyd Mayweather TMT boxing committee and club. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Hakeem. Harry, what's good? What's good, Harry? Yeah, he brought up the fact that after he finished trying to chant everybody down about Floyd Mayweather and extol his virtues, he went on, somehow slipped into the NBA, and then he had the nerve to say or comment that Kobe Bryant is the best basketball player ever. Kobe Bryant's the best ever? Were they called the Kobe rules or were they called the Jordan rules? I mean, come on.
Kobe never changed any rules.
Exactly. Kobe didn't change the rule. He benefited from the rules
fan of
changes.
his play on the court.
I'm a fan of
His-
Kobe
his,
too.
His play on the court, I'm a fan. I'm not a fan.
But you're
of the
tripping.
person.
I think you're tripping when you talk about Kobe's the best ever.
Well, you can honestly.
Does Kobe even make the Mount Rushmore of all time great?
Right.
Because
He's
to me, the
a
Mount
great.
Rushmore is
He's a
Wilt,
great. He's a
Oscar,
great.
Jordan, and who's the fourth?
Bird.
And Bird, maybe.
Kobe has what?
The-
5, 4? How many rings?
He does, but you can
Yeah,
arguably
he-
leave him off the Mount Rushmore of the greatest NBA
I
players
think you
of all
can- I
time.
think you can have a strong argument on both
He's there.
sides.
He's there.
Kobe's Kobe's a beast.
Kobe's
Not
a
as
beast.
much as anymore.
Nobody would say
You
that.
forgot
How many
because he didn't play
But
last
let me
year.
ask you this, Marker. How many did Kobe get until when Shaq wasn't there? Because
And he had a different
Shaq got half them rings.
Yeah, and he had a different team. And,
Right.
and the Jordan Bulls had the team. The
Magic, I mean,
Showtime Lakers had a team.
Jordan ain't
The-
got to share those rings with nobody. Those are Jordan's rings. He had help along the way, but not to the level that Kobe did.
Did
Kobe wouldn't have did it
Magic-
without
Did Magic
Shaq.
have help?
Oh yeah.
Kareem,
Showtime,
was it
baby.
Kareem's team? Was it Magic's team?
Yeah,
Bird,
exactly.
I mean, Bird was the leader of those Celtics,
Exactly.
but he had a lot of help.
Jordan was the
I mean,
unadulterated
team-
leader
team-
of the
team.
band in
Scotty's
Chicago.
there.
You need a team.
You can't
Scotty
deny
was
Scotty
there.
You
Pippen.
can't
Yeah,
deny
that's
Scotty, and you can't deny that the role players that
He had
were,
great role players.
I mean,
Great role players.
that did their roles. You can't deny the leading rebounder in Dennis Rodman
Mm-hmm.
cleaning the boards every single night.
Mm-hmm.
But David, before we take our next break,
Okay.
one of the questions that we were going to talk about was Floyd Mayweather or Serena Williams being the most dominant in their sport.
Right.
What do you guys think about that?
You know what?
Fair assessment.
A
assessment.
very fair assessment. And it's a great question that's brought up. Who's more dominant in this sport? I would have to say probably Floyd Mayweather. Because Serena Williams, as great and dominant as she has been this past year, and throughout her entire career, there have been bumps in the road.
So she's had her share of hiccups.
She's had her share of hiccups. Because tennis is all about levels of concentration and how you maintain those levels of concentration over extended periods and stretches. And she has had some hiccups or bumps in the road. Most notably the last one last week when she lost to Roberta Vinci, an unranked opponent from Italy.
Oh, she's from Italy?
She's from Italy.
I thought she was from Parkside Avenue.
Oh, no, she did not participate in the Women's St. Ides Cup like we did.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know where she came from.
And she came out of nowhere. Nowhere.
Serena beat herself.
Serena beat
That's
herself.
good point.
The pressure got to
19
her.
unforced errors in the third set.
There you go. That's all you need
That's
to
a
know.
recipe for
And
defense.
still was right there. Had 2 points
Still
away
had
from
it.
getting the match.
Yeah.
To show you. But she the nerves and the pressure on that highest stage with that highest stakes on the line, it got to her. She's human.
Here's my take on that. I concur. I think Floyd is the most dominant because he's undefeated, and they're both individual sports. But if you compare AI, Allen Iverson, to Tim Duncan, who I think is one of the most sleepy, boringest players, but you can appreciate what he does on the court, the big fundamental. And you look at Floyd, and if you know a little bit about boxing, you can appreciate it, but it's very sleepy. Serena has flair. Serena has splash. People may think she's more dominant because she does it with flair. AI was a monster. He did it with flair. He did it with charisma. He did it with heart. But in the end, Tim Duncan is their work.
Well, I mean, in sports now, it's all about the image and what's on TV and what's marketed. Tim Duncan just puts in yeoman work but continues to work. So those that know the sport have a better appreciation than those casual fans who just want to see, AI light it up, drop 50, and just want to see Serena, dominate these women the way she has, and just want to see, the fights go Floyd's way by knockout. They want to see the toe-to-toe Rocky scenario where they brawl in the middle of the ring. But that's not necessarily how greatness is achieved.
Correct.
So like you said, Mark, it's all how you measure it. I think those who know the sport probably could appreciate a little bit more and probably answer that question about who's greater more because they have some understanding of what it takes to be great. We come from an era, us personally, just speaking it to us, we come from an era where greatness is appreciated by what you accomplish, not necessarily the contracts and the endorsement deals that you had and your profile on TV. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys were charismatic, but they also won. So that spoke to us in our era as we came up as fans and kind of determined a lot of what now is, I guess, how you measure whether or not somebody's great.
Well, see, you're back to the TBE discussion, back to Floyd Mayweather. This conversation has come 360 because ultimately it is about the wins.
Yeah.
You can't spout off on a mountaintop that I'm the greatest if you don't have the wins to back it up. And again, the argument, he's 49-0. He's tied with the greatest for the greatest streak in boxing history. So again, he's in the discussion. And I think, again, he is the greatest of his generation. But when you're talking about the best evers, it's too broad, and you have too many areas to talk about and too many variables to put into place. And just put it bluntly, the cat hasn't fought really anybody. I mean, when you put it in comparison, I credit him because, again, he took care of his business. He beat who was there in his generation. He has no control over that. But when you open that door for greatest ever, greatest of all time, now you're really dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. Okay. All right. So again, we invite everybody to jump in on the discussion. This is WPEB 88.1 FM. Broadcasting live from West and Southwest Philly. Our line, the WPEB hotline, 215-472-0882 or 215-472-0881 is the numbers you can dial if you want to jump in on the discussion. We're going to take a few moments to let Derek break down some of the beautiful things that are happening in the West Philadelphia, Southwest Philly area in the coming weeks as as the leaves start to change, starts to get a little bit cooler. It's dark outside, but there are still plenty of things to do in your community. So Derek, take it away.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting that we were talking about success. Parents, make sure your child is ready for success, and know that education begins at birth. 85% of brain development happens by age 3. Help your child jumpstart success by contacting the West Philadelphia Action for Early Learning, our community, our neighborhood, our kids. You can reach out to them by texting them at 267-331-4726, the word action, to get more information. Or you can stop by. They actually have a dinner the first Tuesday of every month from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is basically known as a chat and chew, free dinner at Drexel's Dorn Sife Center on the campus of Drexel University. And alternately, as we're talking about education, parents, it's never too late for you to go back and further yourself. Know that you have to lead by example. So as an adult, if you're looking to also further your education, college can happen for you too. The University of Pennsylvania Educational Opportunity Center offers free services to help adult residents of West and Southwest Philadelphia apply to the colleges of their choice. That number is 215-573-8000. Once again, 215-573-8000. This is brought to you by the University of Pennsylvania Educational Opportunity Center.
All right. And we'll be back with more Build and Destroy Radio right after this brief break.
Hey Joe,
Yes.
you got the joint from last week?
I won, first of all, let's be clear.
You won last week.
That's how you won it?
I won.
You did win it?
10, 8, 8. You guys had 8, I had 10.
10, okay.
Yeah, so I do have the numbers.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the next
Good.
ones. Yeah, I do have the
That's
numbers.
how we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it with
Yeah.
NFL talk and
And then we're
picking
gonna
our
go for
picks.
week 2. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll do that right around 10:30 or so.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to come in with
That's
this Matt
crazy because
Damon
on my
shit.
other joint, I had 10.
Taking a break.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Taking a break right now, folks. We're still on Ustream Live. Brief commercial pause from the radio, but we are always on Ustream during the hours of 9 to 11. Build and Destroy Radio show on Ustream. You know, we made a marked improvement. Excuse the pun, Mark. With the music that we had playing, we've got some great tunes playing. We wanted to make sure that our Ustream listeners get a chance to hear some of the tunes we rock out to in our headsets. So, you know, enjoy the music, enjoy the discussion, join in the conversation. Ustream, USTREAM.TV.
Don't be afraid to call. Either 215-472-0882. Phone lines are wide open. We welcome all calls, so
Yep.
feel free to call.
Either way, if you get on Ustream and you want to search us out, type in in the search box, type in Build and Destroy Radio. We'll come right up live. You can also check our archives from our developmental shows as we got called up, like I said, like to say, from AAA to the big leagues right now for our own show. We're enjoying this. We hope you guys are enjoying it, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a minute. Let me see if we get anything. No hits.
You not gonna put the drum or dancing? Or dancing?
No, I was hoping you would come up. I can come up with it.
Is Ustream always delayed or is it live?
No, it's live. It's live.
Okay.
It's live. Yeah. Let's come back. Come back. You want to talk about this Drake jinx? You want to move on?
Let's go back. Move on.
Move on. Okay.
Let's see if we can get out of sports.
Let's get out of sports. Let's get out of sports. I'm gonna come back. I want to talk about Matt Damon and his teammate. You heard about that?
Nah, I just heard about it yesterday.
Yeah.
What's he
Matt
talking
Damon.
about? What's all that about?
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, okay. So,
Clownish.
all right. So let's go back in the fall TV. Oh, it came on. Oh, let me see that. Wow, that's tremendous.
It's a little delayed, like a couple seconds.
Okay, it's on your man.
It's there though.
It's there.
You have to have the Ustream app to be able to see it.
Yeah, you can download that. Just go to your store.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do I get you?
No, I mean, well, yeah.
Upcoming events. How do you get live? Wait.
I just went through the app and put it in. It comes
type it in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Comes up
type it
just
in.
on live.
Where's the search?
Yeah, it's about 10 to 20 seconds, I believe.
I can't find it on my channel.
You know the app?
Yeah, I got the app up, but I can't find how to, I can't get back to the main page. Alright, let's go back on it. We are black. WPEB 88.1 FM. Good evening, everybody. This is the Build and Destroy Radio Show for this September 16th at 2 minutes to 10 o'clock. Rounding into our second hour of the Build and Destroy Radio Show. We've had a crisp discussion about sports. We're going to move into the entertainment realm because it is fall. The fall TV season is about to kick off. There are a number of new programs, you know, that you guys may check out. Some old favorites that you're ready to begin. One of which is the show Empire, which had a huge first season. And to me, personally, it was quite a pleasant surprise because when that show kicked off on Fox, the premiere, just to let you know, is next Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Fox. The show is in its second season. Terrence Howard, Philadelphia resident, Taraji P. Henson, and a cast of others. The boy Yaz, who plays, what's his name on the show, Snoop? He's the rapper. Drip Drop.
That's my man.
Yeah. He's Philly's own as well.
Brashear Gray.
Brashear Gray, aka Yaz. He plays one of the Lion sons on the show. I can't think of his name right now. But, Empire is set to begin next Wednesday. We're in, like I said, the fall premiere season is amongst us. And, one of the things that tripped me out, like they do oftentimes, they talk about minority and black television shows. This is not a black show, per se. Let me get that off my mind right now. It's not a black show. It's just a good show that happens to feature African American in the leading parts, which is a pleasant thing to see, a great thing to see. So, the last we checked in last season, Lucius was being whisked off to jail, while the rest of the family struggled to save the face of the company, Lucius's company, in the public eye. And that's where we're going to come in at this season. And, everybody wanted to really throw or pit Empire against another one of our favorite shows, Power. And to me, it's comparing apples and oranges. One is on network TV, the other's on cable. Both really good shows based off of urban culture, which is what we're all about here on on Build and Destroy Radio. We're all about urban culture and everything in between. We are children of the hip hop age, so it's very refreshing to see this kind of subject matter brought to the mainstream. Not only brought to the mainstream, but done in an artistic, very classy, and the stories are intertwined. Great storylines, great characters who just happen to come from a urban motif. You really made it when you ride the bus or you're by the water cooler at work, and you have Buff and Becky Sue from Gladwin
Talking about
that cookie line is something else. The stuff she says,
I can't believe Kanan shot his friend. Did you see that?
Oh my God. So Empire as well as Power have entered the mainstream, which is great. It's a great thing. So we look forward to watching it. The show's going to kick off. One of the things that really is going to take the show to another level is the large amount of cameos and celebrity stars that are going to be on this season, including the likes of Ludacris, Kelly Rowland, Chris Rock, Lenny Kravitz, Alicia Keys, and more are going to set the stage this season, as well as Vivica A. Fox playing Cookie Lines, Taraji P. Henson's character. Vivica A. Fox is going to play her sister on the show this season,
Okay.
which is being rumored to be the kickoff of a spin-off series starring Vivica A. Fox that'll spin off from Empire. So, that's hot. But As we move into the TV season, guys, I have outlined some of the new shows that are coming up. We're going to do a little thing here where we give, some of the shows a thumbs up or thumbs down on whether or not you think the show is going to make it. Is it going to be a success? Is it going to be a flop? There's nothing worse than seeing the show get this big kickoff from the creators of Rocky 5 and 6. And Terms of Endearment comes from the makers of Fox, comes a new series called Candy Wave. And then it gets canceled like 2 weeks later. You're like, wow, what happened to that? So let me see. What do we have here? So, one of the shows that's coming up, a friend to the show, someone we're very familiar with, Morris Chestnut, is starring on a new show called Minority Report. This is a spin-off of the movie, the very successful movie which starred Tom Cruise a few years back. It premieres Monday on Fox, September 21st at 9 p.m. And here's a quick synopsis. Set in Washington, D.C. circa 2065, the government's pre-crime initiative, in which a trio of siblings with precognitive abilities could accurately predict a violent crime before it occurred, has been dormant for a decade. After the disastrous events seen in the movie, one of the precogs, named Dash, comes out of hiding and tries to make it to the mainstream. One of the cops that is played by another friend to the room and person we're familiar with, Megan Good, takes on the case and follows this character Dash, who is what they call a precog, through Washington D.C. in the future, and they get into all kinds of things very similar to the movie. Okay, did both of you see the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you guys like the movie?
Yes.
I like the movie a lot.
Yes.
Alright, so I gave you a quick little rough synopsis, very rough synopsis. Snoop, do you think this show is a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up. I'm not a big fan of the movie turn TV series.
They usually don't work.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I mean, you have the premises already set. Get a good cast together, and I mean it can work. I mean, I think it's based off of the success of the movie, so it's not that hard,
If you can pull it off, yeah.
For Morris, I mean, I hope it's a good run for him.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
think they're going to certainly draw the initial viewers. If they can sustain that and put out quality writing, and quality scripts, I think they'll be successful. Because I think I'm going to watch at least initially, and I think they have a good cast, and I think people will want to be pretty compelled to tune in and check it out. So they can draw those early listeners, and they can ride that to success if they can create some good storylines.
and you know what? I kind of side with Snoop. The movie sans TV series, they usually don't work. Matter of fact, I can't even think of the last movie adaptation turned into TV series that was successful. And I gotta be honest, I love looking at Megan Good, but she's the kiss of death when it comes to TV series. This is like her third series in like the last 2 years. All put in the trash can within like the halfway point of the season, the shows got canceled. So love looking at Megan Good. Don't know how well she's more of a movie actress to me than a TV star. So I'm not optimistic about Minority Report.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic.
Is she the lead female?
She's one of the leads. I don't even know who else is in this. I don't know the other stars, but she's one of the leads.
Yeah, I mean, she's, to your point, to carry a 2-hour film, maybe, but week in, week out, it's a little dicey.
Loved her and Think Like a Man 1 and 2 as a gun-wielding futuristic cop. Not so sure. Okay, let's move on. Okay, another friend of the room, Morris Chestnut. Talked about him. You know Morris Chestnut from Best Man and Ricky from Boys in the Hood.
Classic.
Yes, he stars in a new series again on Fox, premiering Wednesday, September 23rd at 8 p.m. This is called Rosewood, gentlemen. Okay, and the quick synopsis here, Morris Chestnut plays the title role as Beaumont Rosewood Jr., a medical examiner who has established himself as Miami's top private pathologist. That's because everyone needs a private pathologist. Okay, Rosewood is the guy you hire when you have a loved one who is croaked, but you still doubt the county coroner or Miami PD's conclusion on the evidence, and you call Rosewood in to get to the truth. Snoop, are you going to dedicatedly watch Rosewood the way our listeners listen to Build and Destroy every week? First of all, it's on Wednesday, so, you know, it's a problem. We have a conflict of interest right here with Rosewood. Yeah.
I would watch some reruns of Quincy.
Hey, Quincy was a good show. Don't you talk about Quincy.
That's my point.
So basically you're saying Rosewood's going to be a swagged out Quincy?
A swagged out urban Quincy that's going to be
a swagged out Quincy.
And off.
What do you think?
Listen, for those of you out there listening, don't waste your time. Tune in to WPEB 8.1 from 9. Actually, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
That's right.
Check out At the Round Table with Barry and Denise and
Cynthia.
Cynthia. And from 9 to 11, you might want to check out the Build and Destroy Radio with Derek, Dave, and myself.
Coming to you live from the Lemon Drop Lounge, WPED. Okay, Adge, I'm going to give you the over and under on Rosewood. The over under is 6 episodes before cancellation. Over and under, what do you got?
Oh, I'm going to go under. It just looks sketchy. He's got a heart problem or something like that. He's had open heart surgery. He's got, he's got his interplay with the co-detective. It just looked forced and unreal.
It's not promising.
And then, exactly. And then you talking about any show built around a pathologist. That's the key. That's the key.
Private pathologist.
Right, private pathologist.
pathologist.
Right, you know that.
Okay, so
Did he get his cards made at Vistaprint? When I'm selling my pathologist service, you need a card that stands out.
I have my doubts. I'm going to take the under on Rosewood too. Morris has a little bit better of a track record, a little bit better than Megan Good, but not much better. More movie translatable as a movie star than a TV star. Rosewood gets the big thumbs down.
Is he gonna be shirtless a lot, showing the store?
That might give it.
That may give him some female
That might get the.
That might
Well, he is in Miami, so
might
that's an
get him a
excuse
couple-
right
that might get
there.
him a couple of
This
shirts.
is gonna be a battle with a sexist thing.
The
Megan
ladies.
Good, she gonna show a little skin.
So your wife will watch it, but we're not gonna watch it. Okay, let's move on. So we're not very optimistic about Rosewood either. All right, now another friend to the viewing audience and friend of the room to the Build and Destroy Radio show, Wesley Snipes, stars in the NBC show The Player, premiering Thursday, September 24th at 10 p.m. on NBC again. So quick synopsis, and this is a deep one, y'all. Follow me.
Like, is this really it?
I can't even read this because we're going to lose people. Basically, what's going on here in The Player, there's a mercenary guy who loses his girlfriend. He's a mercenary soldier of fortune extraordinaire who loses his girlfriend. Said girlfriend, he tries to avenge her death and find out who the killer is, but really it's an elaborate plot by a collection of billionaires who are looked at as the Illuminati, who can influence events. This is real. Okay, let me read this part. Okay. Not long after thwarting a violent attack on some big deal clients, Alex, the lead character, who's the soldier we talked about, witnesses the shooting death of his ex-wife and is framed for her murder. Turns out, he is being steered toward a bigger and laughably ridiculous conspiracy. He is being recruited by an ancient, ultra-secretive, technologically advanced cabal of multi-billionaires, Derek, that has found a way to predict crime. What is this, Minority Report and Player mixed together? Okay. Rather than put the science to use, these unseen Illuminati like to gamble on justice, placing many zero bets on whether or not a designated player can prevent a crime or disaster using only his smarts and agility to act on information provided to him by the dealer, star of the dealer played by Charity Wakefield, and overseen by House, Wesley Snipes. That's The Player. That's the synopsis for The Player.
I'm gonna watch just to see how this plays. I'm gonna watch at least once.
Where you gonna place
See
the
how
over
they
under
do
on this,
this.
Derek?
Oh my goodness.
I put this over and under on 1 season.
Wow.
The preview looks good.
I will say that the
preview did look good.
The preview looks
That
good.
But that might be all this. You know what they say
Yeah.
about good-looking previews? That's the whole thing. That's the best part right there.
I mean, I think it's gonna have a viewership at first, if nothing else. If they can pull it off, you know, that could really happen.
I don't have a comment to that.
Shout out to the Illuminati.
Shout out to the Illuminati. Shout out to Jay-Z, leader of the hip-hop Illuminati.
Oh, God.
So, I don't know. I'm put the over-under on 1 season. I think this makes 1 season just because the preview looks good.
Yeah.
Not much past there.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
shout out to Wesley Snipes. Hopefully
Great
he can,
comeback.
hope he can rebound.
Listen, I just want him to make another Blade.
Exactly.
There's been talks that they're going to redo
How
Blade.
about that?
They're going to reboot Blade with Wesley in it.
If him
I mean-
working can lead him to do another Blade,
Right.
that's a good
If the
thing.
player
That's a
can lead
good
him to
thing.
another Blade, then it's well worth his sacrifice. Yes.
Absolutely.
Did you guys, I don't think it's on our list here, but not sure of the name of this girl. The girl with all the tattoos that are clues and she doesn't
Yeah,
That looks
That does
good.
look interesting.
That
I was
looks
gonna give us a preview that.
It's a
that
little-
looks like a winner.
The little,
What's the name of it?
I can't remember, but it's the kind of the Jason Bourne premise
Mm-hmm.
to the next level because she reappears. She doesn't know her name. She doesn't know who she is.
And she appears
has
in Times
fighting
Square.
skills, somewhere highly populated, yes. But the next level is her body is tattooed with one of the agents' name
And
on
clues,
them
clues all over
these
her body.
clues, and so it's a little added flair and it really looks good.
So that seems to me to
we'll
be
be probably
part
checking it out.
Born Identity, part what's the Charlie Baltimore? What's Charlie Baltimore? What was that movie? Long Kiss Goodnight. So part Long Kiss Goodnight, part Born Identity.
Yeah.
That's a winning combo.
Looks
Yes,
good.
man.
Looks
That
good.
looks like a winner. All right, we got one more to review, fellas. The Muppets.
Oh.
The Muppets come back. The Muppets premieres Tuesday, September 22nd. That next week, 9 p.m. on ABC. Now the premise for the Muppets will have come back in many different formations and different concepts. This particular concept in 2015 is based around a mockumentary where the Muppets have a backstage story as they attempt to launch a new show, which is reported to become a late night show, Up Late with Miss Piggy, starring Kermit the Frog here. And Miss Piggy and Kermit have just gone through an ugly breakup. So that's the basis of the mockumentary. Mockumentaries are big in TV right now.
I
Think
like
Larry
mockumentaries.
Sanders.
I
Or
like mockumentaries.
think what else is one of our favorite
I
mockumentaries?
love mockumentaries. Oh man, there's a number.
There's a lot.
There's a number.
There's a lot of them.
I mean, they have movies. Spinal Tap. This is Spinal
Spinal
Tap.
Tap,
That's a
yes.
classic. But there's a number of
Yeah.
good mockumentaries at it. This is, I don't know if this
Like
this,
CB4 mockumentary,
Yeah, absolutely,
movies
absolutely,
like that.
yes.
So this particular mockumentary is starring the Muppets. Okay, let's get this. We got a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the Muppets TV series. What do you think?
This could be funny if they do
Could
it
be-
right.
It has
could be
potential.
funny.
It has potential.
If they play it like serious, like it's like not like a Muppet show, but they play it like like they show like the sordid side of the Muppets, like backstage, maybe like Kermit with like a drink talking about the breakup or something like that. Something playing it like it's like real life.
Right.
That and I think it has potential for some humor at least. So it might be interesting. It might be interesting.
It could be. It's all based on the writers of the team.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Steve?
I think I'm past rushing home to get my sandwich and the chips ready to come in the Muppets. I think I'm just past it. After a long day at work and production meetings for the show and oh come on guys, I gotta go catch the Muppets. I just
You can't see
maybe
it.
on demand. Maybe if I walk in the room and somebody has it on,
Right,
but
right.
I can't. I don't think I can build my life around.
So you're giving it a thumbs down.
I'm not giving the premise and the concept a thumbs down. I'm giving me watching it a thumbs down.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm in between. It's got my curiosity.
Yeah.
When I saw the Muppet preview commercial, I was like, the Muppets again? I was like, come on. I'm gonna watch Animal play the drums with the old men in the stage, But the concept of a mockumentary has my interest peaked. But we talked about some of the friends of the room that have got some starring roles in TV. It's just good to see us represented on the
Working,
TV screen
working,
and working.
absolutely. That's
I mean, come on, we both know, we all know, we come from an era when, you know, we saw anybody black on TV. We were like all gathered around the TV set, you know what I mean? Outside of Soul Train. Black people outside of Soul Train was a big deal. You know, we were little shorty who watched Ask My Mom and Good Times.
whatever we could see.
Whatever we could see.
Absolutely.
Whatever we could see.
Again, big shout out to Perfect Guy with the box office numbers. The Perfect Guy, the
How about
movie.
that? Number
This
one, 2
movie's
weeks in a
crushing.
row.
Good movies with African American leads and
Solid project.
actors.
Solid
Also coming up, they did some numbers, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. A movie that took 22 million to make. It grossed 38, close to 40 million in 1 week.
Anybody get any feedback on it?
I
I
didn't.
didn't. I did. What's the feedback?
Good acting.
Mhm.
Very typical.
Sanaa's a dummy.
Very typical.
Sanaa Lathan's a dummy.
I didn't get that. I got just the typical story.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what was coming. Yeah,
Just tell me it was better than No Good Deed with Taraji P. Henson.
Oh,
'cause
I didn't see that. That was bad.
That was.
I had that on my
horrendous.
DVR. Was that bad?
Shout out to
Same
Taraji
thing.
P. because she
Same
executive
thing.
produced that.
Same
It went through
Her
her.
and
Yeah, they co-produced that. They put the money up for that bad boy, and it made money.
I mean, they're gonna make
It was bad though, Dave.
I mean, if it's any more typical, man, if it followed, oh, it was so, it was.
This one just has the draw, the sexual draw, the light skinned guy, the dark skinned guy.
Little more sexual energy in
and
it.
like, you know.
Got you.
I mean, you know.
Hey, but again, black actors in Hollywood
Yeah.
making it, having
Who knows?
success. I'm never gonna hate on you with so much. So, congratulations to Taraji. Congratulations to Michael Ealy. Congratulations to Morris Chestnut again. Chestnut is working. Chestnut has been working for a long time, and that's a you get a Build and Destroy clap for that, Morris. So, you know, great things going on with those. But you know what? We're talking about diversity and happy to see people of color on the screen. Matt Damon doesn't seem to really be riding the boat on that too much. Those that don't know, Matt Damon has a show, another new show that's coming back. I think it's for the second or third season on HBO. The show is called Project Greenlight, and it's a documentary-based series where they give fledgling producers and filmmakers a chance to win a contest to get their short film done and financed through Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's movie company. Well, the show kicked off last Sunday, gentlemen, and Matt Damon got into a heated racial debate with black movie producer Effie Brown. Those out there in Ustream and Radio Land that don't know Effie Brown is a very successful black female movie producer in Hollywood. The latest project that I know of is Dear White People, which is a really good independent flick that came out. Very well done movie. So Effie Brown's done a number of flicks. I can't think of all of them right now, but Dear Black People is the latest project that she got on. Well, she's on the board of the committee that helps select who wins this contest. During a discussion about the film that Damon and Brown and others are producing, Brown pointed out that the only black character in the entire script is a prostitute who gets slapped by a white pimp. She didn't suggest that they necessarily change the script, but she felt that the director, who's chosen to oversee the project, handled the scenes with care, and that the other producers should consider choosing an ethnically diverse finalist. Well, Matt Damon took some exception or umbrage to that. Basically, he stated, and I quote, "When we talk about diversity, you don't do it in the casting of the film, not the casting of the show." Damon argued back. She said, let me say this again. When we talk about diversity, you don't do it in the casting of the film, not the casting of the show. Basically, he said diversity is shown in front of the camera, not behind it.
Right.
That's basically what he was saying.
Right.
Effie Brown argued back, and she was shocked by it. And she just said, wow, with that comment. Well, the internet lit up and lit fire into Matt Damon about those comments, about how typical coming from a white man of power. This is how Hollywood is, and so forth. So, as much things have changed, as much diversity that we think we see, there's not too much diversity behind the camera. So if you're black and you aspire to be a filmmaker, good luck. You're about to go the Robert Townsend set with
Wow.
the Robert Townsend movie because they didn't draw a blank going on. Hollywood Shuffle. You're about to go to Hollywood Shuffle route. So again, as much as things have changed, things haven't changed.
How dare he say something like that too? I mean, I like Matt Damon.
And I like Matt Damon too. I like him a lot less now.
You just can't make a comment like that.
But does it surprise you though, Derek?
But that Boston came out. That
But
old
that
Boston
Boston came
upbringing
out,
come out,
exactly.
bro, every now and then.
Harvard Yard
Every
came
now
out
and
all
then
in
it comes out. It comes out. Every
Park the
now and
car.
then it comes out.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that. You
That's
can't
what
get
I
away
was
from
gonna say.
that.
Some of these cats, they don't know. Like it's an entitlement and it's an upbringing and it's like you said. Are you surprised? Like and you're blessed enough to be in Hollywood and
Stay
be
in
a
your
major,
place. Stay in
and
your
be a major
place.
player in
Stay in
Hollywood.
your place.
They don't know.
Stay in your
Don't
place.
get
Yeah.
crazy.
Stay in your place.
That's but Derek, that's the only place he knows. He doesn't know that he probably doesn't think what he said was wrong.
No, that's bad. That's the sad thing about
He
it.
tried to backtrack. He
Yeah,
should have
tried.
apologized today, put it on the media, but it's
But
out.
that still was in his heart.
Yeah,
It
it
still wasn't
seeped out.
what
Your heart came out.
Right.
He pulled a Riley Cooper. His heart came out. His heart came out. So it's not surprising. It's just disappointing, and it's kind of defeatist. Basically, you bought it. You got your Emmy. Holly got hers. Be happy with that.
Right, pretty much.
Take these little snippets, these little things we give you, and
Right,
move on.
right. You'll always have Spike. I mean,
You
Spike's
always
done
have-
it for everyone.
Exactly.
Spike's done enough for everyone. You got Spike Lee.
You
what more
love
do
power, don't you? Well, run with that, Andre.
You got two shows on TV.
Right, you got two.
Power and Empire.
Power.
What more do you want?
What more do you want? God! Next, you tell me LeBron will get a show. That's right, he does have a show. Yeah, so,
Lord.
yeah. So, but we're just building and destroying, y'all. That's all.
Par for the course.
Yeah, it's par for the course. It's par for the course. But again, we're going to take one more break. This is the Build and Destroy radio show for Wednesday, September 16th. Thanks to everybody who's out there listening to us on the radio.
We get some pigskin dating on the other side of it.
We're going to talk some pigskin. We're going to get into these picks as we round out week one and talk about a little bit about the NFL happenings and goings and everything that's going on. So this is the Build and Destroy radio show, 215-472-0882 if you want to call and comment. And we'll be back after this. Yeah, you really rounded the form. You had a rough start. Coming with it. You're in Paul Shaver territory. You're the music director. I'm not even calling you DJ. You're the music director. The world's most dangerous band.
People a little. I can get one with black milk and all them like.
Absolutely. Speaking of black milk, I got a favorite series now on YouTube. That this is.
Oh,
this
the
is
joint of the boys that be making the beats.
I love it, Snoop.
What
I'm
is it?
addicted. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
Rhythm roulette. I'm addicted.
Rhythm.
I'm addicted.
When they come,
Here's the premise, David. Here's the premise, folks. We talked a few weeks ago about how beat making is absolutely an art and
We talked
music.
about that before.
And it takes musical talent to make beats. It's not just programming a beat machine and just add a little boom back to it and adding a sample. They have the show, we have to tell Mark, maybe talking about the same one, Rhythm Roulette. They get a hot producer, any producer, and all types of, mostly hip hop. I think maybe a few dubstep producers, but they get a dope producer. They go blindfold into a record shop, Dave.
Wow.
Blindfolded, pick out 3 albums. 3 albums, just off the chart, like a large record store. Just pick 3 albums out, and their job is to make a beat with it.
What?
So I'll be like literally up to like 2 in the morning watching beat makers.
can't get enough of it.
I can't get enough. I'm gonna tell you about the Black Milk one. Have you seen the
Wait,
Black
first
Milk
of all,
one?
tell
I'm gonna tell you about
Ustream
I'm gonna tell you
about
about
this
the Black Milk one. I'm gonna tell you about the Just Blaze one.
Wow.
You talk about cats that make beats and have that ear. It's so beautiful to watch because it's going through do the records, they put them on. And you see the process, they're putting the record on, and they're just like, nah, they're just putting it through. Like rolling it back, putting the needle up, listening, and they say, hold up. They wheel that back. And they just go, and then they go to the gym, program that, wheel that back, get a sample, say, nah, that's not working. And black, I don't like this, put this on.
What?
Go down, and then next thing this, we can do something with that. And then they wheel it up, and you see them get on the computer. Next thing you know, utter masterpiece. It's crazy, Dave. It's just to see that process, I get excited. As a head student, you can't help but get excited.
It's
You might be
another
talking
one
something
I saw.
different.
No, I saw that before
Okay.
too. I did see that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, David. Yep.
It's another
David,
one,
yep.
and I don't know the name of it, where it's like
Dave,
a
check it out.
stage,
Okay.
and the boys come on stage, and they got like an MPC, the turntable, keyboard, and they come up and they just.
I think you're talking about the one at Fat Beats, the one that's at Fat Beats where they just go.
Oh, I heard about the one at Fat Beats.
The one that Kevin Brown did. When it was just a.
Yeah,
That was a
they just
problem.
come up and just.
But you know
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Y'all never got down to what's this old club down Bank Street? The joint they used to do on Wednesdays with
611, not 611.
Not 611.
The one down on the market. The one on
in the
Third
alleyway.
Market.
In the alleyway.
Is it?
They
Is
used
it
to
off
have
of
a beat
Market?
series
Is it off
there.
of Market Street?
Live, I saw that live. It was crazy. Boys.
Wasn't it a hip hop show owned by a hip hop shop, a clothing shop, and they had live
They
performance?
said-
I think I saw High Road there.
They used to have a live beat.
Was it off of
series
Market,
there.
David? Was it off of Market?
Right off of Market. Right off of Market.
I know exactly what you're
cannot
talking about.
remember the name.
Somebody used to
Johnny
own
them
that
used to
shop.
have party on
In
Thursdays
fact-
there.
in fact-
and you go up the steps.
What's the house? Is it Victor Duplain?
Yeah, Duplain. Yeah, they used to do.
That's
they used to
it.
have house producers.
Yes, they did.
Hip hop
And
cats.
it was right at Third Market. I
And
saw
that was
those
the same
mischief
kind of
there.
thing.
Higher Road was
Yep.
the same kind of thing, a real
Yeah.
esoteric shop.
Right,
They would
right,
they
right.
let MCs come in and spit,
Right.
beat makers, whatever,
Yeah.
sold
Crazy,
merchandise.
crazy.
Yes,
Yes.
and I remember that.
Yep.
Street.
Right. The same era when Black Lily and all that was
Absolutely,
going on.
yeah. I remember that. I clearly remember
Alright,
that.
we got a half hour to do these
Yep.
picks.
Okay.
Alright. Let's get into it. Alright, we'll go back on to the Michael.
You have the picks printed out here for this
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Super chat. Got another So you're gonna come in. Talk
Talk
about
about
one
last
week one.
week,
And
absolutely.
then we'll talk some NFL
Yep,
news.
okay.
And then we'll go right into
Indeed,
it.
I got it.
Okay. Alright, we're back. Build and Destroy Radio, back on the airwaves. We've been going through Ustream. Again, spirited conversations throughout, talking about hot button topics, music, radio, TV, with everything in between. But right now, we're going to dive into some NFL news in our last half an hour. We kick things off with a little pick segment that we're going to do weekly. We're going to keep a tab. Andrew, you have the results from
Yes,
week
sir.
one.
Yes, sir.
Read them out to
We
us.
all picked games last week. The winner, naturally myself, with 10 picks. I'm going to consider myself an expert.
Can you give the record? Well, how many games were there?
I chose 10 correct. I predicted 10 correct games, winners. David and Mark both predicted 8 correct winners. We lost collectively on a few. Ravens, Buccaneers. We all picked those losers. Vikings. We all picked those losers. Eagles. We all picked those losers.
Thanks. Thanks.
Losers just
I'm
in
gonna take
the
that sitting
figurative
down
word,
right
Dave.
now.
Not in the literal word, just
Okay.
figuratively.
All right, bro.
But I came out the winner with 10 wins. Mark and David both picked 8. We did okay. So we're going to try it again this week and see how we do for week 2. Going
All
from
right,
week 2 to
I
win
mean,
total. And the winner at the end of the season will just get a pat on the back and be crowned Build Destroy Pick'em champion.
And a free beer at the barn. Our favorite watering hole
Absolutely.
that we like to go
Meet
to
us
at
at
the
the bar.
hard night.
We
At
need
a
to
hard
come up-
night.
We need to come up with a prize.
We need a prize.
Come up with a
We do,
prize
we
pack.
do.
An adult beverage and a handshake is what we'll have at the barn.
And we want to know if we make a pick that you guys agree with or disagree with. Please give us a call at 215-472-0882.
All you random Lions fans and random Browns fans and Colts fans throughout the Philadelphia area, feel free to call in. You know, you're not alone.
Exactly.
You got a friend to Build and Destroy, so we'll listen to your pick and see what you think.
Or you can mark them down and type them in and send it to us through our Ustream channel, Build Destroy Radio. Search that out on Ustream.tv. You can follow our picks, compete against us, and see if you know more than us. But we know you don't. So good
So
luck to
there,
you. So
take that.
That's right. All right, but a little bit of NFL news as we went from week 1 to week 2. Jason Pierre is going to give it a go with his digit. Yes. He's going to give it a go, and he's going to try. They're showing clips of him on YouTube pulling a sled with a nub, and the Giants have found out that the hand is worse than they originally thought. I don't know how he's going to shed a blocker with a nub of a left hand.
This guy.
You want to talk about technique? He's really got to find some technique to get that done.
Absolutely. What else, David? What
else? What do you got?
Adam Pac-Man Jones and Ndamukong Suh back at their usual antics. Ndamukong Suh possibly,
right.
Neither one of them are facing fines, but Ndamukong Suh allegedly knocks Alfred Morris's helmet off as he's getting up off the pile, kicks him in the head.
Gave him what they call the business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Adam Jones, welcome in the book to the league.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper, Jones
35,000.
He should, because that was fine worthy. That was fine worthy. To slam a man's helmet, headed to the helmet. I don't care what anyone says. That was fine worthy. So, those are two other things that happened this week. What else? Anything else major that happened?
Other happenings. Let me see. Off the top of my head, let's see.
The Raiders are still the Raiders.
The Raiders are still the Raiders. Black hole and all. That's one of the games I lost. I went on the limb and said, "This is the new Raiders." There's nothing new about the Raiders. The only thing gonna be new is when they move down the turnpike to LA.
Absolutely.
Them or St. Louis. Somebody's going to Los Angeles in a couple years. And I think, frankly, the denizens of the black hole will give them a wholehearted see ya the way they played in their opening, which was pretty pathetic.
They stunk it up.
Deshaun Jackson pulled his hamstring on the first long play he went on. He pulled up short.
Too much reality show.
Too much
Too
reality.
much flexing on the reality show. Deshaun.
I think so. Not enough stretching.
Come on, man.
Too much flexing. That's right, Deshaun Jackson. In the number 1 draft pick poll, you touched on this. Marcus Mariota looked like Marcus Mariota, and Jameis Winston has a long way to go. Not to say that Marcus Mariota's not going to have his bumps in the road too, but you can see who the more polished product is right now out the gate. Jameis Winston's going to struggle. It's going to be a struggle. He dropped back on his first pass, and he ceremoniously threw a pick.
Shout out to Crystal Landry for a long season.
Long
I
season.
love him, brother.
So the Raiders, let's do a quick recap. The Raiders are the Raiders. The Bucks are the Bucks.
And Mariota's going to the Hall of Fame.
And Mariota's going to the Hall of Fame. Not to overshoot things a little bit. And Tom Brady and the Patriots march on. The evil empire marches on.
As usual, right.
As usual.
So that was an easy pick. So we're going to get these picks.
So with that being picked, we will now go into the frozen tundra of Build and Destroy Arena. Week 2 kicks off Thursday night as the Denver Broncos score against the Kansas City Chiefs. Mark, who you got?
Give me the Broncos. I think it's still their division until otherwise noted. Peyton coming off a haphazard performance. I think he picks it back up and shows that my arm is still.
That's the other big news. Peyton Manning's arm looked a little suspect. Could this be the end of the road?
Everyone said that, but did you see the bombs that he overthrew? I mean, so is it arm strength or is it just accuracy? Because he was overthrowing people on 50-yard, deep nines. So I don't know if it's arm strength, but his spirals aren't tight, and his touch, Peyton was one that out, and those touch passes he would deliver. And those are the ones in question that I saw.
That's what defines a real good quarterback. So if you're talking about anything, I think you're talking about overall erosion of skills in general, not just one thing. And and what do you say, Steve? Father Time is undefeated. We're going to catch him at some point. Here
I'm
we
going
go.
to go with the Chiefs. I think this is one where they split. I think the Chiefs get this one. Andy Reid's looking to finally make some noise. This is a chance to do it. So I think the Chiefs get this one. This one they'll split. They'll get this one. I think I'm going to Chiefs.
Real quick, I'm gonna go KC. I think this is Andy Reid's season to make some noise in the AFC. I go with the Chiefs. Let's go to the next game.
Next
Sunday
game,
match.
one quick aside. Is it Thursday night football already? A little too early for Thursday night football?
This is what it
I
is.
thought it was like, come on, like week 6 or something.
Week 1. Those days
Jeez.
are easing into it. They jump right into it. Last Thursday, and it's gonna go.
I mean, I know the opening season, but I thought Thursday night started kicking off like around week 7.
No,
6 or
sir.
7.
Those days are over. They started with that last year.
Jeez.
When CBS got that contract, it went to everything from week 1 to the halfway point,
Holy
week 8.
smoke.
And we love football, but I
I mean,
just
come on.
fear the
I
oversaturation.
don't like it. It's
I fear
good.
the
Thanks,
oversaturation.
Roger.
Never.
Love you. Thanks, Roger Goodell.
Now, the one thing I will say is they're looking to have a better slate of games.
Upgrade the competition.
Traditionally, the Thursday night games have been horrible. But, I mean, we got a good matchup.
We do.
this
We
week.
do.
Good match.
And
You got a good matchup for week 1.
Week 1,
Absolutely.
so, I mean, if they continue to put the matchups out like that,
They can do
that's
something
fine.
like
I
that.
mean,
Okay.
we'll see.
Let's rock and roll.
Next game, Patriots at Patriots Bills. It's in Foxborough.
No, that game is in Rich Stadium in
Oh
Buffalo.
Whoa,
wow.
whoa.
That's in Buffalo.
We got technical difficulties there because the Broncos at home.
No.
Yeah, but your home. These are your home. Your homes are right here. right?
Homes are here.
Okay, so then that is in New England.
That is
That's in
correct.
New England.
Homes are to the
That's
same
in
format.
That influences the pick.
Yeah, same.
Definitely,
Oh, you're thinking about
definitely.
switching. You want
No,
who you
No,
go?
no, we just want to make sure we had our
Oh, okay.
home team.
I got Patriots, but I
Okay.
got Patriots at home.
Oh, you're going Patriots? No, they're on the road in Buffalo.
All right, we got it.
You sure about that? David?
I'm
I thought,
sure.
These are home teams.
The home team is to the left.
Well, then that's Patriots,
So
then,
then-
David. That's Patriots. So this is in Foxborough, then. It's got to be in Foxborough.
I am incorrect then. I am wrong.
Okay.
The Bills are at home.
That's correct, because their home teams, we're at the Bears, so that is correct.
Mhm.
And the Bucks are at the Saints. That's absolutely correct.
I just had the home spot in the
The Chiefs are
wrong
home.
I need to change
The
my
Chiefs
Okay,
are
so then Steve
I-
changes his. All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking coming to Denver.
Okay. Yeah, they're coming to KC. All right, so Patriots, Bills. What do you
Coming
think?
into Buffalo, you know, that
Raucous.
upstart, they're the little
A
kids have been beat up.
raucous Orchard
It's going to be raucous in Buffalo. There's no answer for the Gronk. There's no answer for the Gronk right now. The Gronk is Rex Ryan has already said he's going to triple team Gronk, and it still might not be enough. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at Gronk, and it still might not be enough.
Yeah.
And then, just when you think you got the whole Patriots formula figured out, they roll out Deion Lewis, a Philadelphia Eagles reject. And he looks like the second coming of a young Wes Welker. How do you explain that? I'm going Patriots on the road.
I think the Patriots are the best until proven otherwise. Rex can talk all that nonsense, but until you rack up some wins, brother, I'm going Patriots myself.
Rex likes to talk tough Tony, but
Who you got, Mark?
who you got, Mark?
I'll go to Jags.
Okay, we get
Okay,
on that.
keep it rolling.
Next one, those Arizona Cardinals travel to Soldier Field to face Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears. David, who you got? My boys or the Chicago Bears?
You know what? The Bears, although in a losing effort, they show some signs of fight that they didn't show at all last year. I agree. Jay Cutler looks improved. He looks more settled behind his new offensive system. This is in Chicago.
Yeah.
Made you look there. I'm going with. I'm torn on that one. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
Okay.
I'm going
All right.
with the Bears.
I'm not mad, Marker. What do you got about this before I expound?
I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals. What I saw the Cardinals do with Carson Palmer, I think the offense is gonna be alive and kicking this year. As long as he stays healthy, the defense is solidified, and they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Don
I
Coryell, who you
appreciate
have?
that. I like that assessment, but I'm definitely, I think I'm going with my boys. It's a tough game for sure because the physicality of the Bears receivers scares me. Jay Cutler is Jay Cutler, but at the end of the day, I just think our defense is going to be too much for him. Bears play that 3-4. I think David Johnson and Chris Johnson, the Johnson brothers, are going to run right through that front three. I just don't trust the Bears, and I think the Bears are in for a long season. And I think our opportunity to pick up where we left off last year, starts in Chicago because this is a game we need to win. So I think that being said, and with us, our opportunity to build some momentum, I'm thinking I'm going to go with Arizona as my boys. So I think Cardinals will go.
Okay. Moving along.
Okay. Chargers Bengals.
Where's that game at?
That's in Cincy.
Cincy home opener.
Yep.
Chargers Bengals.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be
That's
good.
Every
That's
game
gonna
right
be good.
now is a good looking game at this point.
Easy.
Chargers comeback win last week. Bengals got a W.
Who's going on that day? Phillip Rivers, Andy Dalton.
You know what? I'm gonna play the revenge card. San Diego went into Cincinnati and pretty much embarrassed the Bengals in the wild card round last year. I see a raucous Paul Brown Stadium. I'm gonna go with the Bengals and the Red Rifle Andy Dalton there. I just think that they're gonna come up with an effort. I really don't like that team.
The Bengals?
I'm not a big Bengals supporter. But in this case, I'm gonna replay the revenge card. They're gonna find a way to get a W in the home opener.
Personally, I tend to agree with that, man. I just think the fact that the Bengals got a lot to prove. Marvin Lewis is coaching for his life. They want to keep him around, and I think certainly San Diego can afford to get out of the slow start like they did last week against Cincinnati. AJ Green, I think it's just too much for San Diego's secondary. I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
Too much green.
Yeah.
Who you got, Mark?
I'm going with the Lightning Bolts.
Okay.
Just for the record, they're one of my sleeper AFC teams to make a push this year. And you guys said the magic word, Marvin Lewis. Should have been fired 12 times for 12 different teams.
He's a Teflon Don, isn't he?
He is, but
He is.
I just have no idea. I think Chargers.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Okay. Titans Browns.
That game is
That game's in Cleveland.
in Cleveland.
Wow, 2 Titans away games to start the season.
How about that?
Wow. Okay.
I'm going with the Mariotas. Johnny Manziel looks like he maybe get the start. And although I think he'll look a little better, he's a turnover waiting to happen.
Manziel.
Yeah, the Pillsbury Doughboy doesn't have as many turnovers as Johnny Manziel has. I got to go with Mariota. The ever maturation continues for Mariota. I think he'll have a couple bumps in the road this week, but he'll continue to grow. And on his worst day, he'll still look better than Johnny football. So I'm going with the Titans.
Okay. Marker, you want to go with that?
I agree. I go Titans as well.
Okay.
Mariota definitely will outshine Manziel. I think Manziel. I like to see him get the start. I like to see him get I like to see him just get.
In front of his own
I
crowd.
like to see him get a couple of games and let it ride. Let's see what we got. And if he's not the one, then they get the Browns.
Absolutely. I think so too. I think Mariota's getting that confidence. That game last week gave him supreme confidence. Browns defense outside of their corners. I think they haven't gotten it for Mariota. But I go with Titans also.
Okay.
Okay. Next game, Lions, Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota comes back with the tail between their legs. Lions blow a big lead in San Diego. What you got, David?
2 embarrassed teams for the effort that they put forth last week. This is the Embarrassment Bowl. Who's going to save face championship? I'm going with the Save Face boys. I'm going to go with the Lions.
Lions. Marco, who you got there?
I also picked the Lions. Even though they had a lackluster performance down the stretch, they did come out on fire.
That they did.
And they still have Megatron and you let can San Fran be a surprise this year?
Stop it. Nobody's talking about that.
But
that's my point. That's my point. That's my point.
I think the Vikings are. I think they're toast. But I think you will see a real AP this week.
Can you come up any more small on national TV than the Vikings did? They were so uninspiring. They could have beat.
That was a snooze.
They could have beat. They could have beat San Francisco.
Right.
Come on. Kaepernick didn't do too much, and Carlos Hyde ran through him, which is, because Carlos Hyde's a damn good receiver.
Carlos Hyde had to come out
He's a
party
beast.
instead of
He did.
How about that?
But the Vikings could have won that game with any modicum of effort. They could have won that game. So I'm going Lions also.
Okay.
Lions in that. Next one, Buccaneers, Saints in New Orleans. Jameis on the road in the Dome. What do you got, Dave?
Who that nation going with the Saints?
Yeah, no need to discuss that. Saints.
Saints, sorry, honey.
No need to kiss butt here, Derek. You stick proud to your pick,
That's
sir.
right. And next we're going Falcons, Giants. Giants blew a huge one last week to Mark's boys.
Boy, did they.
Man,
Boy, did
come on. And then now the fiasco that's resulted.
That was
the
pathetic.
fiasco that's coming out as a result of that is major. But
Right.
I think in this game, I think I'm going Falcons. I think Falcons have got a little nice momentum from that win against you guys, David. So I'm going Falcons on this one.
That game's in Giants Stadium.
That game's in Giant Stadium. David?
You know what? Oh boy, I'm gonna go with. Let's pick it upset. I'm gonna go Giants.
Giants? Okay.
I'm go with the Giants.
Mark,
G-Man,
you
Put me
I'm
down
gonna
for
G-Man.
G-Man.
Giant? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think something about the Giants cannot count them out.
No,
They
you
just
cannot.
Keep rising like a
Yeah, they're Lazarus. The New York Lazarus.
They're fine.
and after all that, and after that week in the media, and
Yeah.
and people coming out talking about I wasn't supposed to score, and
Listen,
they are
the
going
Flyers
to
had
Let me
Kate
tell you,
Smith in the '70s. I think the Giants got Maya Angelou.
I
And
give
still
Paul
I
Kaufman
rise.
praise. I give Paul Kaufman so much praise.
Tom.
Tom Kaufman, I'm
Tom.
sorry, for handling that New York media and keeping that job. I mean, that's one of those jobs you just walk away from. Sometimes.
Right.
So you guys are both going Giants then?
Yeah.
All right, now what I want to do, let's run through these picks because we got to get to you guys' game. Let's head up.
Let's
We'd be
run.
remiss if we won't let you guys. I can walk out the studio and just let you guys call it out.
Let's run.
We're going to run down
Yeah.
the next pick so
But there's a fight
David
brewing.
and Marco can talk about the head up. We're going head up. You got to be able to talk about
There's
it.
a
So,
fight brewing. Let's get to it.
49ers, Steelers. David, who you got?
Steelers.
Marco, you got?
Steel curtain.
Okay. I'm going also Steel Curtain. Rams, Redskins in Washington. David, Rams, Redskins. David, you got in Washington?
I believe in Nick Foles. St. Louis.
Oh, Rams is another thing. I'm going to Rams also. That's going to be a show.
Ram
Steve,
tough,
who you got?
Ram tough,
Unbelievable.
Ram tough.
Texans, Panthers in Carolina. Who you got, David?
Texans, Panthers in Carolina. I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Mm.
A lot of instability at the quarterback position. in
Yeah,
Texas
there
right
is.
now.
Marco, who you got?
Oh, Cam.
You go, Cam? I'm going to disagree with you guys. I think Texas need to win here. I'm going to count them guys to step it up and snatch
Alright.
one. So that's my little
Alright.
upset special of the
Okay.
week.
Thanks for giving a couple wins.
How about that? Ravens, Raiders. Who you got, David? It's in Oakland. Oh, come
Ravens.
on. I'm going across the board.
Come
Do I
on,
need to
across the
mark?
board, across the board.
Dolphins, Jags. Come on.
Fins.
In
Fins.
Jacksonville, yeah. Okay,
Fins.
come on. Let's be
They
clear.
really
Here,
disappointed.
and then Seahawks, Packers, Eagles at Monday night too.
Might need to discuss that.
Seahawks, Packers. I'm sorry.
Seahawks, Packers.
Ooh, okay. What you got?
That's in this got me confused. This is in Lambeau.
It's in
It's in
Lambeau.
Lambeau.
Yeah.
Lambeau.
That's Sunday night game, right?
Two,
That's Sunday night?
yeah. Two Sunday night, excuse me, Dave. Two road games for Seahawks start the season out.
I'm going Pack.
That's gonna be tough.
It's going to be tough with the Seahawks coming off of a loss, but Seahawks on the road. And if you remember that championship game, the Packers were giving it to them.
They were giving it to
They
them.
were giving it to
So
them.
that's all the
It was their
I
game.
think it was their
they
game.
were giving it to them.
Clearly, we remember that.
I mean, what was that? Was that like 13 points in a minute 30, something like that?
Yeah.
It was some crazy
That was
number.
ridiculous.
Only Russell Wilson could have pulled that off.
I think Packers do.
Okay. David, who you got?
Packers, Seahawks. You know what? Again, we're talking revenge game. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. Seattle, they're gonna try and push the panic button on going 0-2, but those are two tough losses. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's no way Seattle goes 0-2, man. I think there's no way that they're
I
going to
got you.
that.
A lot of pride in
They
that
can't.
locker room.
Oh my goodness!
A lot
I
of pride
think
in
there's
that
no
locker room.
way. They know that West.
You got
is-
me wanting to
They
switch
can't go
on
down.
this.
They can't go down 0-2 to us
Right.
or the Rams.
Right.
So I think there's no way they lose that game.
Again.
Seahawks.
After the Seattle Seahawks go 0-2, Cam Chancellor
Get his contract.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
I feel
Here
you
we
on
go.
that.
Let's the Jets Colts. Let's get that one out the way. Who you got there, David?
Jets and Colts. I'm going with. Where's that game at?
In Indy.
I'm going Van
Colts
Love.
can't go 0-2. Let's
Can't
go.
go.
Let's stop it. There you go, Mark. I love it. I love it. Then the contest to end all contests. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. 4 o'clock tilt. Be there or be square. Go ahead, Mark. What do you got?
well,
I know you guys got, so I'll get my pick. Can I get my pick first?
Yes, of course. I was going to say.
I'll just let you guys, and I'll walk out.
You just out the way.
You
You
don't
just
have to
out the
walk
way.
out. Stay right in the middle.
I'm gonna let my boys talk, but I think personally this one, and just the same way I said the Seahawks, Snoop Eagles can't go 0-2. You're not gonna let it happen. No Dez. And you guys are gonna ball, make no mistake. I just don't know if the receivers are capable of replacing the production of Dez is gonna give. So I'm gonna go with Dez. That's just my personal comment. Guys, speak on it.
0-1 first.
David?
0-1 first.
I did win the coin flip, so I like to receive. And I'm gonna go this way.
And you're gonna score.
And we're gonna score.
You know how that turned out.
You know what? this is I hate to call week 2 a desperation game, but it's desperation in many ways. Not just because we need a W, because we do need a W. It's in division. You're trying to save face like you on national TV and pretty much lay the egg for a half. You showed great potential in the second half, but mistakes and lack of execution and continuity cost. I think they put it together this week and they put a ASS whooping on the Jerry Jones control. I think they put it on them this week. I really do. I see a dominant performance. It's tough to sweep a team. You know, all that means we'll probably lose them in week 8, whatever. But I just see a dominant performance. They're gonna put it together this week. I think they're gonna take it personal. You know it's gonna be raucous until something shuts us up at the link, which could happen. I don't see it. I think they put pressure that they didn't show last week. Fletcher Cox and the boys take that matchup with that very much overhyped Dallas offensive line. They always rise me occasionally against them. I think they get some pressure. I think they force some turnovers. I think Malcolm Jenkins comes back and has a big game this week, minus Dez Bryant. And I got the Eagles winning. I got the Eagles winning.
You ready?
I'm done. I know it's gonna be. I know what's happening here.
It's going to be a tough task for the boys to go into the lane and get a W. It's always good to have a win with plenty of things to correct. I mean, we basically gave the Giants 17 points.
Right.
Otherwise, we roll over them. If Dez doesn't drop a pretty much surefire touchdown, we destroy them. So the emphasis this week is hold on to the ball, and without Dez being in, we get to rely on some scheme of our own.
Right.
If you watch Monday Night Football, there were so many holes, so many glaring weaknesses that we have to be salivating even without Dez. At running the ball up the middle, at exploiting the safety play and exploiting, which going into the season we were all concerned about Philadelphia's lack of slot receiver, slot corner. I think, as I mentioned last week, that the Shetland Pony Cole Beasley explodes.
What did your running attack do last week, Mark?
We had 85 yards.
Among what, six different running backs? 7?
3.
They all average 2.1 apiece?
How many yards did Philly have?
We got it done when we needed
No.
to.
More importantly, how many yards did Marco Mariota have?
We got it done. We got it done when we needed to.
What's the
Darren Sproles was huge last week.
out the backfield?
Out the back.
Okay, we also had a star out the backfield.
Ryan Matthews had his moments, and DeMarco got it done when he needed to.
See, you're looking at a number without context. We were down, as you were down as well.
Yeah.
So we had to throw the ball,
Right.
which we marched down the field 2 consecutive times.
And we marched down to 3 consecutive times.
Yeah, and you lost and we won. So I mean, we put up 85 running yards. I don't care who gets my running yards, as long as you get my running yards.
I understand.
I mean, easily would have had 100.
It's almost Thursday. You want to make your pick, please?
I think Dallas beats them. I think they pull it out. I think it's going to be a hard-fought contest.
I agree.
I think we win.
Go.
There you
It's
have
in
it,
the book.
gentlemen. Week 2 is in the books. And then about 3 minutes before 11 o'clock, it's our time to get ready to roll out of the 11 Drop Studios of WPEB 88.1 FM. We want to thank everyone who checked us out this evening. I hope you got your picks in. I hope your picks are better than ours. We'll see. We'll check it out next week. That's about it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe. Be safe, Southwest Philly. Be safe, West Philly. And always remember that throughout your travels and what you do, always build and destroy. Good night, everybody. Guys, want to say
Salute,
something?
Philly.
Good night.
Peace out.
Ustream, what's happening? We're shutting things down. It's 11 o'clock. We got to get out of here. We want to thank you for checking us out on Ustream. You can check this show out as well as the other weeks preceding this show on our Ustream channel, Build and Destroy Radio. That's what you search on ustream.tv. That's our music director, Snoop Money. That's the man with the master plan, Derek Adger. And I'm your humble third member of the Build and Destroy team, David
Point
Hanna.
guard. Coming out. Point
Yes.
guard.
I'm the Gary Payton of the bunch. Thanks for checking us out, y'all. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 9 to 11 on 88.1 WPEB Ustream channel, Build and Destroy Radio. Good night.